Hey, what's up guys? Jake here with Success Motors. I have a walk around video for you today. As you can see, it is a Ford Excursion. Now for some of you who watch my channel regularly, you'll know that this Excursion actually looks pretty familiar because it's my second time to have it. The guy that we sold it to, he was down here in, I think he was in southern Texas, and he had it for a few months and decided he ultimately wanted a diesel. So he drove it 6.5 hours back up here to College Station, where he traded it in for one of the diesels that we just had. So anyway, it is back. It is a 2000 Ford Excursion XLT V10 four-wheel drive. Guys, this Excursion is a really cool build. It would make a really cool toy or even a good daily driver. But if you're interested in this Excursion, watch the video in its entirety. I'm gonna look under it, I'm gonna look in it, we're gonna drive it, all those things. Now, I will say, if you are out of state or even just out of town, I filmed this video so that you know if it's worth your time to come to College Station, or if you're out of state, we can actually handle the entire transaction completely electronically. So if that's the case for you, we can absolutely do all that and then have this thing delivered to you. Now, last thing I'll say, it's pretty windy today, so I am apologizing in advance for any type of sound quality, but we're gonna do the best we can. All right, here we go. So, first thing you'll notice is this thing is big. It's probably sitting on like an 8-inch, maybe even a 10-inch lift, which I'll show you that here in a minute. You might be able to tell it's got three, not one, not two, but three shocks on the front, or 6 shots total, 3 per side. But it's probably about an 8 to 10-inch lift. And it's sitting on a set of 39-inch Super Swampers. So it's got a really cool just stance to it, guys. It looks great. If you're into big vehicles, big lifted excursions particularly, this will probably tickle your fancy. So it's a big rig, not crazy, so big you couldn't drive it, but big enough to where it certainly looks pretty cool and to make a great vehicle outside of your business, maybe for like advertisement if it was wrapped or something. But it's got a great stance to it, looks really cool. If you remember, this thing was a 2-owner. And I believe it was the father and then the son. It came from Arizona originally, and then it ended up in Texas. And so it was of one family, but 2 owners technically. So now it's a 3-owner because the guy I sold it to about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. So technically it's a 3-owner, but it's no accident history, no damage history on CARFAX, and no rust in the rockers. So it's got a great history. It does have 141,000 miles on it. But in 2017, the motor was replaced with a Ford crate motor, and it's only been driven 15,000 miles since that crate motor was installed. Now, we ran it through our mechanic, the Rite shop. They changed the oil, they rebuilt the front end, so they did drag links, a pitman arm. The whole front end was rebuilt, wheel bearings, because when we originally got it, it had the tires were off camber and couldn't be corrected. So we got all that done. All the bushings and all the shocks and suspension have been replaced. The lift was actually taken apart and retorqued. And then what else? There's a few other things that have been done to it recently, but it is mechanically sound. Oh, the brakes have been redone. So it runs good, drives straight down the road, and it's had a lot of maintenance things done to it here recently. We're gonna start with just kind of an outside tour from a condition perspective, and then I'll get inside. As we get up close to it, guys, it's not perfect, but it is a nice Excursion. Right off the bat, hate to show you something right off the bat, but it does have a dent here in this bumper. Of course, back here, you could probably just get a hammer in there and knock that out, make it a little bit better. Or you can replace this bumper for like 400 bucks. But it does have a dent here on the bumper. Front fender has had some, some scratches that have been repaired. But overall, front fender is in good condition. These wheel wells are these fender flares actually look great. This one had a little bit of clear coat that flaked off of it, but actually it looks good with the rig. But no dents or dings here on this front fender, just some clear coat that flaked off on the on this Bush, or whatever brand this is, but fender flare. You can see, like I said, it is running a set of, these are 39-inch tall Super Swampers. These front 2 tires are in great shape. They've got a good amount of tread left, and there's, like I said, the 3 shocks. I believe these are Rough Country. They might be Skyjacker shocks. I don't see a brand on them, but it's got a nice ride to it. Again, the brakes have been redone. What else? All right, condition perspective, of course, got the tow mirrors. Got this cool looking brow thing. That gives it just a cool stance and a cool look. Passenger side door here, front door is in great shape. No major paint issues or dents or dings, nothing. Actually, this passenger side looks great. Oh, and it is on a set of Pro Comp wheels, and these actually polished out real nice. There's a real nice set of Pro Comp wheels. You can even see in there the brakes are new, pads and rotors have been replaced. And I believe this is a set of 17. So this is a 39.5-inch tire and on a 17-inch wheel. Pretty crazy. Coming around, couple of paint issues I'll show you in the door jambs here when we open the doors up. Paint's not perfect, but it is pretty good, all things considered. Again, it's a 25-year-old vehicle, which spent a lot of its life actually in Arizona and then in Texas, so the two worst spots to live from a sun baking perspective. Paint overall is in great shape. Now, it does have some paint that was chipping right here or flaking, and then it's just been kind of patched to make it look less noticeable. So from a distance, you don't really see it, but if you get up close, you do know that there was a spot that was just patched right here. Couple of paint flakes up there on the roof, but overall, pretty nice, especially just all things considered for this rig. I mean, that's a good looking exterior. Paint's not perfect, but a good looking exterior. Pro Comp wheels in the back. Does have your Firestone airbags in the rear. Back tires are pretty good tread left. These are a little bit drier, but they do have pretty good tread life left. Coming around back here, again, this is an XLT. Interior is very, very clean. And honestly, the exterior is very, very clean too, just minus a few, paint imperfections. Does have a backup camera, and again, you can see equipped with rite Firestone airbags, and then does have this really large drop-down hitch if you want to tow your boat or something. The guy that I got it from told me this thing was never used for anything other than just towing the boat to and from the lake. And that's exactly what it looks like. You ought to, put an American flag on the back of this thing and tow your boat to the lake, be perfect. So other than that dent we saw on the front bumper, we haven't seen any dents. We've just seen some clear coat coming off on these fender flares, which isn't bad. And then we've seen some, just some paint imperfections. If you have any questions, call me 979-202-1948. Really, nothing, maybe a rock chip right there. Overall, paint could be a lot worse, and it could be made to look even better with just some minor things. It's still got a great shimmer and shine to it. It doesn't have any clear coat or major flaking going on anywhere, with the exception of in the door jambs and a couple of spots, I guess, on the that back door. Again, the front two tires are much newer than the rear two tires, so these guys don't even have any cracking. They've got great tread depth. You can see the 3 shocks there in the Pro Comp wheels. Overall, headlights are good, grill's good, bumper is good on this side, and then the hood is good too. So no major issues on the top of the hood. Does have some like rock chips or just some paint chips kind of along the edge here. No cracks in the bump or in the windshield. And then coming down here, again, the front end was just completely rebuilt. Wheel bearings replaced. You can see all these grommets are new, everything's new. So the front end was replaced, so this thing tracks straight down the road, runs and drives really, really good. I'll show you in here, no rust in the rockers. Of course, this is an Arizona vehicle and then a Texas vehicle. There's the original window sticker, or not window, but VIN plate. No rust hiding anywhere in this rig. And then pop up under here. A little surface rust on the frame, but no rust in the rockers or anything of major consequence. No leaks either. We don't leak any oil, none of that. Of course, being the XLT, it's cloth interior. Headliner's in good shape. None of those are broken. Carpets are in good, clean shape. Does have some floor mats. Hop up in this thing. Steering wheel's in good shape. Maybe a little bit of rubbing off of the color, but overall in great shape, not twisted or anything. Does have a trans temp and a water temp on an A pillar. No cracks in the dash, no cracks in the windshield. Has a Pioneer aftermarket stereo. Does have a trailer brake controller, and of course it's 4-wheel drive. Right now the odometer is showing 141, 362. And again, the motor was replaced back in 2017, about 15,000 miles ago. Now the center console has been swapped out for a jump seat, so this thing can actually carry what, 9 people. So you're going to the lake and you need to take a lot of people, here you go. That's a much bigger storage than they would come with. Second row looks great. No rust in the rockers again. Door panel's good. And then the second row, very clean, as you would expect. Carpets are clean, floor mats, headliner's clean. And then, like I said, the second row is in good, clean shape. Now, we do have some chipping going on in the paint and the door jamb, so just make note of that. Does have some issues there. Overall, the only thing you could deduct for on this Excursion is the paint in a few different areas. You just saw all these doors open, both doors open, all that opens, and then it does come with a full-size spare with wheel. The wheel doesn't match, but it's a full-size spare. So it does have the third row, which is up there. Carpets are all clean. We just had these shampooed out. Everything is in really good shape back here. And it has, you know, the factory spare, which is useless now, and then it has the a matching spare. Headliner's clean. And again, it has the third row seat, which is in the same condition as the second row and the first row. Coming around passenger. No rust. And again, just as clean on this side. Again, this would make a really cool rig to take to the lake, pull your boat around, or a good daily driver. Second row seat, or the passenger seat, I should say, very clean as well. What do we got in here? Oh, original owner's manual's in there. Again, you can see no cracks in the dash. All that's in good shape. Carpets are clean. Forgot if I showed you the rocker already. And of course, no rust hiding in there. Doors are clean. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's fire this rig up, and then I'll show you everything works, and then I'll show you underneath the hood. Whew, nice pretty day out here in College Station. All right, key fob starts right up. No glow plugs, of course, because it's the V10. AC blows cold. So the previous owner, the guy that bought it from me, he went through and replaced a few things. A lot of the vacuum lines were replaced on the air conditioner, or vacuum lines were replaced, which could impact the air conditioner. So air conditioner functions as it should, front and back. Again, the brakes have just been redone. But the AC is blowing cold right now on a relatively warm day down here in College Station. You see no check engine lights, no ABS lights, none of that. And then windows are working. And it does have some fresh tint, by the way, fresh tint on all the windows and a fresh brow on the front. And then you can see it was just recently serviced. It's not due again until 145/372. I think this light is on because I turned it on. What else to show you in here? Radio works, air conditioner's working, rear AC is working and blowing cold. You can see the trans temp gauge and the water temp. All right, let me pop out. Oh, locks. Locks are working too. Pop the hood. So super nice 6.8 liter V10. Very healthy sounding idle, very quiet. Does have cold air intake. Sounds really healthy. If you guys know, this 6.8 liter V10 is a really nice motor. Listen to that sound. No smoke, just a super smooth idle. All right, let's hop in this thing and we'll take it for a test drive. Whew. All right, so just to surmise what we've talked about so far, 2000 Ford Excursion XLT 6.8 liter V10, 141,362 miles. In the last 2,000 miles, the thing went through our mechanic, had the front end completely rebuilt. A lot of the components were replaced. The bushings and the shocks were replaced. The brakes were redone. Vacuum lines were replaced. And then it was fully serviced and looked at otherwise. Everything's in great shape with this rig. AC is blowing cold. Everything's working there. Great history. 3 owner, Arizona and Texas. Clean title, of course. What else? Be sure to check the description below just in case I forgot to mention anything. But yeah, overall nice rig. And then the motor, of course, was replaced back in 2017 with about 15,000 miles ago. So I don't have any paperwork for that, but I believe it's verifiable through CARFAX. So I just have to check out the CARFAX, which is actually on our website. But anyway, let's take this thing for a quick cruise. So it's actually going to ride better and steer better than you would expect, because everything that we did with the suspension. Don't want to hit my neighbor's van here. They just got that van. Shift lever feels good, by the way, very solid. And I don't know if you saw that, but I'll do it again. Put it in reverse. The backup camera works. And I don't know if you've ever driven a V10, but V10 is actually probably my preferred engine choice. Cheaper to maintain, nice and quiet, no glow plugs. It's a good motor. And it's got plenty of power to get this thing up and going. Now, if you've ever watched any of my videos, you know that this road is a little bumpy. And of course, this thing has a pretty big lift on it and 39-inch super swampers. But honestly, you can see I am not white knuckling this thing, and I've got one hand on the steering wheel, one hand on the GoPro. So it rides and steers and drives down the road a lot better than you would expect. All the gears, we just went through all the gears. We're up in 4th gear now. Shifts were all perfect. Steering is not pulling in either direction. You do have a nice hum from those super swampers. So if you were going to daily drive this, you could drive it like it is now. But if you wanted a quiet ride, I might swap the tires out for something more like a street terrain tire, not a super swamper that's meant for the mud. I would say the ride's a little bouncy up until about 20 miles per hour, but once you get to 20, everything just kind of smooths out, and now we're just rolling. And I think if the road were smoother, this would be no different than driving any other Excursion. No sounds other than the hum of the super swampers. No lights on. Again, you can see the road is actually smoothing out a little bit. I'm not fighting the steering wheel at all. Temperature gauges are working. Go ahead and exit like I usually do. I'm on the brakes. Steering wheel did not jerk in either direction, and there's no feedback in the brake pedal. This road is actually a little bit smoother because it's a new road. But yeah, there you have it, guys. Really a nice Excursion. If you're in the market for a toy, I think this would be a good one. So yeah, no issues that I can think of or have seen. This thing is mechanically sound, runs good, drives good. The only issues that you could dock it for would be the quality of the paint, which even that is not bad. There are many Excursions with much worse paint out there than this one. This just has some flakes in a few spots, but overall, paint's actually in pretty good shape, and the body is in great shape. There's only one dent, and it's actually on the bumper, not on the Excursion itself. So if you wanted to get crazy, you could probably replace the bumper and clean up the door jambs and whatnot pretty inexpensively and have this thing looking tip top. But overall, again, mechanically sound, shifts good, rides good, brakes are good. I think you could buy this thing and drive it right now. And it did just make a 6.5-hour road trip from deep South Texas up to me last week or the week before. So this thing is ready to rock and roll, guys. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. 979-202-1948. Otherwise, God bless you guys, and hopefully I will talk to you really soon.